Hi guys, I hope you are well. Today I thought I would show you the books that I bought in the month of March. I bought 7 books this month and obviously I'm very excited about reading all the 7 books. I'm gonna jump straight in and tell you about each and every one of them. The first book I bought is Ghost Wall by Sarah Moss. This is Sarah Moss's newest novel and it's very short, it's I think 150 pages. And this tells the story of Sylvie, who is a teenager, and she is living with her archaeologist parents on old Iron Age site, and they are basically living as people would in the Iron Age in Britain. And you discover quite fast that her father is a very abusive person, and there's a lot of parallel to how people in the Iron Age used to live and things that are still happening today. And I think this sounds really fascinating. I've heard that it's very intense, so I'm really looking forward to get into it. The next book I got is a graphic novel and it's Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. I've heard about this book because a few people mentioned them on their favorite graphic novel videos, and I really want to read more graphic novels, and this sounded really fun. On the back it says Nemesis, Dragons, Science, Symbolism. This really sounds like something I would like. So basically it's about Nimona. She's a shapeshifter and she teams up with a guy called Lord Blackheart, who is a villain, and basically they're raising havoc and trying to show that the heroes in this world are maybe not the best persons in the world. And I think that sounds fascinating. I really like when there's inversion of like heroes and villains, so that sounds really interesting, and the artwork also looks really nice, so I'm looking forward to getting to this. The next book is The Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz. I read quite a lot of Anthony Horowitz's books when I was a kid. I believe he wrote quite a lot of children's books and they're all very sarcastic and dark, and there's mystery. And I have recently read The House of Silk, which is his take on like a new Sherlock Holmes novel, and I really enjoyed it. So I thought I want to read more of his adult fiction, and this is about a writer who is writing best-selling crime books, and it's about his editor, and she's looking at his new manuscript and she's starting to feel that maybe there's some hidden meaning within the story that he's just written that would tell of real-life jealousy, greed, ruthless ambition and murder. So this sounds really good, and I've heard that it has like Agatha Christie vibes, classical mystery vibes, so this is definitely for me. Next up is also in the line of Agatha Christie inspired, and it's A Talent for Murder by Andrew Wilson. This is also a mystery novel, but it looks at the 10 days in which Agatha Christie has disappeared from the face of the world. And it was in 1926, and there's a lot of speculation about what happened and why people didn't know where she was anymore. And this is the author's take on what happened during these 10 days. And what he interprets happens is that she was basically blackmailed on her way to London to find out if her husband was cheating on her. She meets this person who starts to blackmail her, and the question is, will this person also be able to blackmail her into planning a murder for him? I'm really looking forward to getting into this, and it sounds really amazing. So that was the 4 fiction books, and now I have 3 more and they're all non-fiction. I really want to get more into non-fiction, and all of these have been on my radar for a while, and I thought now is the time. So the first one is Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Reni Eddo-Lodge. This originated from the author's blog post that she wrote. She's a journalist, and in 2015 she wrote a blog post with this title, and this kind of unleashed a whole movement online, but also in the journalism industry, and started a discussion about what it's like to be a black person in Britain. And I think this sounds really fascinating, and it's apparently very honest, and she has done a lot of research about how black people were treated basically from the beginning of the time they arrived in Britain. I think I will learn a lot reading this, and it sounds really fascinating. Next up is Medieval Bodies by Jack Hartnell. I heard about this on Jen Campbell's channel and I was immediately drawn to it. It's about how people in the Middle Ages saw their bodies, illnesses, how people were cured, so a lot of intersection between faith and medicine. It's about medical knowledge at the time, but also how people viewed themselves and their body, and I believe it's also going, in the book it's literally going from head to toe and looking at each of the different organs and so on, so this sounds really, really fascinating. It might be something that I will read over the course of several months because I feel it's quite dense, but I think it sounds really interesting, so yeah, looking forward to that one. And also the cover is crazy beautiful. And last but not least, I bought From Here to Eternity by Doughty. So you might know about the author, I don't know if you do, but if you don't, go check her YouTube channel that I will link down below. Caitlin is a mortician, so she was working for I think almost 10 years in the funeral home industry, and basically now she's advocating for changing our view of the dead and how we deal with the death of our loved ones. And what she's trying to demonstrate in this book is that she traveled to different places in the world and she describes their funeral rites and how people deal with the theme of death, and it's showing how different we are seeing this all over the world, and that maybe our Western view of trying to hide people in coffins and not dealing personally with the dead but just sending them to a funeral home is a very modern thing. So apparently it only originated in the 19th century, and maybe there's some other ways to do that. And her videos are really fascinating, I really highly recommend them. And of course, as you can see, I already jumped straight into this book, and so far it's really engaging, entertaining. She writes in a very fluent way and it's super easy to read and very fascinating. So yeah, looking forward to reading more of this. So that's it, guys. These were the 7 books that I bought in March. I would really like to know if any of you have read any of these, which one you would recommend me to start with. Let me know if some of these are also on your TBR or if it sounds like something you would enjoy. And yeah, until next time, bye!